how did the Falcons land Cousins?
Well, Kirk Cousins has conducted a master class in the business of how to conduct contract negotiations in football. He has absolutely crushed it in that regard. And he's been a great quarterback, but he's been a world-class businessman. And here's the fact of the matter. The Atlanta Falcons hired Raheem Morris away from the Los Angeles Rams. He brought his offensive coordinator, Zach Robinson, with him from L.A. to Atlanta, and they prioritized the quarterback position to where it became the most important thing for that team. They identified Kirk Cousins as the #1 quarterback on the market, the #1 quarterback available this offseason. And let's keep this in mind. Kirk Cousins entered the league in Washington when Raheem Morris was the Washington defensive backs coach. That Shanahan coaching tree loves Kirk Cousins. Raheem Morris is a part of that tree. He knows exactly what Kirk Cousins brings to a franchise. So they were aggressive. They went out and added more time on that contract, a 4th year, than I think Kirk Cousins expected to get. And when Atlanta made that type of commitment in length and in guaranteed money, it really became a simple decision considering the fact that Kirk Cousins' wife's family is in Atlanta. The couples lived at various off seasons in Atlanta. The Falcons came at him long and hard. They wanted to make it happen for him, and essentially they do. And by landing Kirk Cousins, prioritizing that position and filling it, they become maybe the favorites in the NFC South and a contender in the NFC with one move at the quarterback position.
Adam Schefter, why wasn't Minnesota as aggressive as Atlanta was?
There's always been a division of thought, I think, even within the organization. There are some strong Kirk Cousins supporters there in Minnesota. But the fact of the matter is he wanted their commitment to reflect how he felt and where he wanted to be and the length of time. Atlanta stepped up in a way that Minnesota didn't. And last week, I think Kirk Cousins had some lengthy, productive, heartfelt conversations with the head coach, Kevin O'Connell, where I thought that might make the difference and push this towards the finish line. But in the end, as is usually the case in free agency, teams' offers speaks volumes. And in this particular case, Atlanta stretched in a way that Minnesota couldn't and didn't. And Kirk Cousins was able to get the 4 years. He was able to get the $180 million, the $100 million guaranteed. I don't know that Minnesota was willing to go to that point in time. And so here he is this morning as an Atlanta Falcon.
Adam, I want to switch gears here. Tell me this. What do these quarterback moves mean for interest in Justin Fields specifically?
Well, listen, Justin Fields was connected to Atlanta. Never happened. They went and signed Kirk Cousins. He was connected to Pittsburgh. They land Russell Wilson. He was connected to Las Vegas. They went with Gardner Minshew. So all the places that have come up in connection to Justin Fields have looked to other places. What's amazing to me about this is that Justin Fields is due to make $2.7 million this upcoming season. So there are teams out there that would rather pay all these other quarterbacks than Justin Fields. And so now he's sitting there, and it doesn't look like there's a starting job out there at this particular moment. And so the teams that are looking at him would be looking at him as a backup. And would Chicago then get the value that it wants? And what does Chicago do about that? This right now is an ongoing situation. It reminds me a little bit, in a certain way, of Lamar Jackson last year. Lamar becomes a free agent. We're saying, well, he fits in Washington. They don't make a move. He fits in Atlanta. They don't make a move. He fits in so many places. None of them make moves. Similar conversation with Justin Fields this year. And here he is back in Chicago. And the Bears will have to wait to see what opportunities arise. But it certainly doesn't seem right now like anything is imminent with Justin Fields.
That one's interesting. Adam, thank you so much. We'll talk to you in just a bit. Because you know I got a lot of questions about my Giants, Saquon going to Philly. There's a lot more for us to dive into. Adam, we'll talk to you in just a moment. Booger McFarland joining us now as well. All right, gentlemen, let's dive a little deeper into this. I want to take a look at how the odds have changed now with some of these moves. So at ESPN Bet, Atlanta saw their odds move favorably after the news. They're now the odds-on favorite to win their division. They're 12-1 to win the NFC and 30-1 to win the title. Shannon, your home state, talk to me. You surprised by the Cousins deal, hey Bug, with the Atlanta Falcons?
I am, but as you listen to Adam Schefter talk, it explains to you. And Booger, you and I have gone through the free agency process. You know, in order to get me to leave the situation that I'm in, you're going to have to offer me money in more years. And that's what the Falcons were willing to do. For that man to uproot his family, where he's been 5-6 years, they've become entrenched in the community. His wife is comfortable. His kids are in school. They're comfortable. I believe Kirk Cousins has had his best, the last 6 years have been the best of his career. He's comfortable. How do you get someone to uproot all of that and come to another location? Well, you're going to have to go to from a third year to a fourth year. You're going to have to give him $180 million, 100 of it guaranteed, and you give him $50 million at the time of signing. That's normally what has to happen, because in free agency, in order to get someone to leave where they're comfortable, you're going to have to overpay. And that's what people do in free agency, is that they overpay. But that's the only way that you'll ever know your true value, is to become a free agent. Because when they tag on to you, you give up a little money for that security that you get in the short term. But if you want to know your worth, you've got to hit the market. Cousins hit the market. He saw his true value. But am I surprised they went to that number? Yes. Am I surprised he got the guarantee that he got? Yes, because at the end of the day, he is 35 years of age, Booker, and I understand that, and Stephen A., that guys, the quarterback position, guys are playing a lot longer, but that's still a lot of money for someone his age. And the Achilles injury is not a concern of mine, because he was never mobile to begin with, Bug. So we're not asking him all of a sudden to be Lamar Jackson or Justin Fields again, because he wasn't that in the beginning. But yes, I am surprised with the length of the contract and the monetary value of the contract.
So Saquon responded to Tiki saying, LOL, yep, you're the prime example of loyalty to a team. I got the deal I wanted, secured more guaranteed money, which wasn't given to me before. So if fans are going to hate me for that, so be it. But I've never turned my back on my teammates and have always had theirs. You've been a hater since I got to New York, and all the, quote, dead to me talk. Don't smile in my face when you see me.
Me?
Yeah. I mean, I'd like to say something too, but.
Look, this is what I want to say. First of all, can I get the camera shot right here, please? I'm tired of this. I'm here. Thank you. Listen, guys, if there's history, Booger, Shannon, if there's history there that we may not know about or whatever, then Saquon had every right to respond the way that he did. If it's just based on what we saw, come on, man. That's a bit. I mean, you know, Tiki Barber talking tongue in cheek. You know what I'm saying? I mean, come on, bro. I mean, he wasn't volatile in any way at all towards Saquon Barkley. Now, let me say this to Saquon Barkley right here. Let me give you some notes on Tiki Barber, because you brought up Lords, and there's things you may know because you're in the Giants organization. Obviously, I'm not, so I concede that. This is a guy in Tiki Barber. Over the last final season, his last final 5 seasons in the NFL, fellas, he ranked second in the NFL in scrimmage yards to LaDainian Tomlinson while playing all 80 games. Rusher for 10,449 yards, all-time leading rusher for the New York Giants in his career. Made only an average, only like $25.4 million over his 10-year playing career. Okay, we got to take this into account as well. Missed fewer games in his 10 seasons with the Giants. He missed a total of 6 games. Saquon Barkley missed 25 games in 6 years.
Well, he had injuries.
Okay. I understand he had injuries. I'm saying Tiki Barber didn't. In other words, there was a durability issue, whatever. The man has earned the right to speak on behalf of the New York Giants as an alumnus, as a guy who produced for them. Now, Saquon ain't wrong with what he's saying. The day and times that we're living in, I wanted to stay with the Giants. Giants sat up there and franchised me. They gave the long-term deal to, Daniel Jones. We get all of that, okay? And I think Saquon Barkley's going to be big time for the Philadelphia Eagles. I think it's a big-time pickup. I got a lot of love for him. But let's not walk around acting like Tiki Barber, based off of that sound, strictly that sound we saw, that Tiki Barber did something wrong and disrespected him. He did no such thing. You just don't talk radio, say we're done with it. That's all. It was a flippant comment. He was only joking around. Let's pump the brakes on all of that.
I agree with it because we talked about it a little bit on Nightcap, but I didn't have the context in what you guys just saw. And it says like he was saying it, like you said, Stephen A., tongue-in-cheek. But that's not how Saquon took it, because Saquon's taking it like, hold on, bro. How you going to say you dead? I've been doing everything I possibly can to get a contract extension with the Giants, but they didn't value me. This is what we know in business. In any business, the best way to show an employee loyalty is how, Stephen A.?
Bam.
Money, money. Yeah, yeah. You can say all that.
And
he's a great worker.
And years.
Booger, you can say, he's such a hard worker. I never have to worry about Booger McFarland because I know he's going to bring his hard hat and his lunch pail. He's a guy on time. He keeps his head down. He keeps his ears closed, and he goes about his business. But when it comes time to get paid, well, Boog, the position that you play, Boog, I mean, we don't pay those kind of positions in this organization. Yeah. Saquon's like, hold on, wait a minute, bro. I've done everything that you've asked me to do. I've been a great representation on and off the field of this organization. And when I'm on the field, now look what I'm running behind. We've got one of the worst run-blocking offensive lines in all of football. I get the ball, and I got to be Barry Sanders-esque because I got to charge 3 tackles just to get back to the line of scrimmage. And not going to pay me, but you're going to pay the guy that he's having success because of me? I understand that maybe people are so upset because it's within the division. We don't normally see that, Booger, but we can see it because it's free agency. You don't get to control where I go. Yeah. And Saquon is saying they gave me the years and they gave me a number that satisfies my thirst. I don't have a problem with it, but I can understand what Saquon is saying. Saquon was like, bro, now when you see me, now don't cheese in my face. But I think he's overreacted what Tiki said because Tiki said it. Man, you done, bro. You done to us. You can't go to the Eagles. Right. You know we hate the Eagles. You can't go join up with them. But Saquon say that's where the money is.
Yeah, this is a classic case, guys, where context always matters. I think sometimes we read a soundbite, read something that someone says, and we like, man, you said that, and then you go back and you listen to it, you're like, oh, okay, I get it now because the context in what you said, it matters to me. And so that's all I'm going to say as far as adding to the comments. As far as Saquon Barkley, the player, I think the Giants did a good job by not overpaying and signing Saquon Barkley because they are not a running back away. And you can go around the league and you can find on one hand the running backs that are going to make that big of a difference. This is nothing against his talent. He deserved to be the number 2 pick in the draft. He is a tremendous talent. But I don't think that the New York Giants were in a position where even if they brought Saquon Barkley back, that it's going to make a huge difference in the outcome of their season. So why not punt the ball down the road, pass on him, add to the defense, try to help your team out, which they did by trading a 2 and a 5 for Brian Burns and signing him to a long-term deal. I'm really not sure what Carolina was thinking when they could have had 2 arms from the Rams a year or so ago, but yeah. I digress on that. But I do think the Giants did a good job of not overpaying Saquon Barkley. So I like that move. And if you're Tiki and Saquon, hopefully there's nothing behind the scenes because these are 2 of my favorite players. Stephen A., you eloquently stated the stats of Tiki Barber. He is an underrated running back, and Saquon, I think the best is yet to come for him.